part of our Creator.
It
Giving
is.
us that acquired immune system as well, because he didn't have to do that.
No, no. You need both of them. You need the innate immune system and the acquired adapted immune system. In a perfect environment where everything is sterile, we don't need an adapted immune system. But that's just the way God created us. In a perfect environment where there's no microbes or bacteria, infection, we could be in perfect health under innate. But because this world is laden in sin and full of all type of bacteria and virus, our system had to learn to adapt to that.
So that adaptive immune system came in as a result of sin.
It did. So, but it can only adapt to what it's exposed to. So it's limited. Adaptive immune system is limited. The innate immune system is not. The only thing that hurt the innate immune system is we're not in a perfect environment. Okay? But if we're in a perfect environment, the innate immune system gives us perfect protection. So our immune system can help us even in this weakened state. It can help us tremendous. Now the next one is having sexual relationship with many partners. This is a violation of God's principle. And so once again, this constant introducing foreign substance in your body going to create problems. You know, when you sneeze, you go out in the field and you pick up ragweed, pollen, you sneeze and your eyes burn. That is an offensive protein that is coming into your sinus cavity, and your body, through a natural protection, is trying to what? Throw it out. So you sneeze and you coughing. It's trying, because offensive protein have entered into the body. What's the same thing when we talk about cervical cancer and other female problem? When a foreign substance enter in that is not a part of self, your body recognizes it as a foreign protein, and immediately your body throws it off. And guess what that is? Vaginal discharges, infections, cervical cancer, cervical cancer, endometriosis, polycystic ovaries. All of those are symptoms of an offensive protein. Cervical cancer is not a disease. I want to make that perfect clear. Cervical cancer is not a disease. Endometriosis is not a disease. Polycystic ovaries is not a disease. Cervical cancer is not a disease. These are symptoms of the one disease, which is a violation of God's health laws. There's only one disease, period. But there's tens of thousands of symptoms. And so we have learned to fight the symptoms, thinking the symptoms is the disease.
And not getting to the root cause.
You're not doing it. See, until you go back and fix the violation, you will never correct the problem. But we can nullify, we can put out, we can hush the symptoms. We can do all of that, but you have not eradicated the problem.
But most of the time, that's what the industry does. They just kind of mask the symptoms of what's going on. They don't get to the root cause of what has actually caused that issue.
That's the way drugs.
And that's why it continues to come back.
That's the way drugs work. Drugs works, and man can figure out how to nullify, how to prevent and stop the symptoms. And really, they're very clever, because really, people are not concerned about getting well.
Right.
They just want to feel better.
That's true. That's true. They want to fix a quick fix.
As long as you make me feel good, I'm all right. So doctors have become very educated in how to make you feel good.
That's true.
But I try to tell people, I said, you marvel at doctors because they can make you feel good. And you say, wow, doctor, you sure are smart. But let me tell you something. The average dopehead, alcoholic, know how to make you feel good.
That's true. That's very true.
And he have had no education.
And there's nothing good going into your system with that.
And so just because the person make you feel good is not a credential that they know what they're doing.
That's true.
Okay, now what about this starting sex at a young age?
Well, again, that's something that the Lord has tried to put a hedge about us with, that we shouldn't do that. That's not something that we should do.
But once again, see now, young people, when they're before puberty, they are neutral. They are neutral. They neither chemically, now we know that they're a girl and a boy, we know that. But biologically and chemistry, they are neutral. It is only once they get into puberty that the characteristics of a female and a male shows forth.
That's where those hormones really
That's the
start to come
hormones,
in.
yes.
That estrogen and that progesterone.
That's right.
And that testosterone for the men.
That boy, when you hear that boy voice start changing, yeah. And then sometimes it says, it's trying to figure itself out. As you know, I'm amazed with young girls, you know, how they can run. They can run like a deer and jump and outrun a boy. But the minute they get into puberty, all of a sudden that boy just, those feminine traits take over. And they don't have the stamina nor the strength of a boy. Because estrogen is the female hormone. Testosterone is the male hormone. And so when a young people start sexual relationship too young, their body is not ready for it at all. They're not ready for it, and it can really devastate their body. And so this can lay the foundation of future problems.
So cervical cancer, it usually comes from precancerous changes. Approximately 90% of it is squamous cell carcinomas, and 10% of it is adenocarcinomas. And then we got a small percentage of it that's some rare types.
Yeah, well, precancer and precancer cells is what frighten people. Mm-hmm. And when you go to the doctor and say, well, I see some cancer cells or precancer cells, and you don't hear the word pre, you hear cancer cells. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you say, doctor, whatever I need to do, let me do it. But your body is always changing. It's always going from benign to pre to cancer. Those are the steps. No cell is immortal. Mm-hmm. Cancer cells can pretend to be immortal. They can do it. And they can keep replicating. But cells typically go from benign, abnormal, benign, pre, and